Summerfield getting elected. I moved here from Iowa, and during the time that I was in Iowa, I lived there several years before there was introduction of a fair, very impartial, open public hearings, all before it passed in 1980. It was passed in 1981 after 3 attempts. Every census after that, it was passed by no more than 1 or 2 attempts, including 2011, when they passed again. Impartial, compact, irrespective of the population that was in there. There was no attempt to cut anybody out based on it's a pretty white state, and so is Wisconsin, so there is that. But I live in basically a metropolitan area, in the Quad City area, and I did work during the Reagan Revolution for candidates on the state level and for U.S. Senator. That was an incumbent, happened to be a Democrat, who lost to Chuck Grassley, who's been in there ever since. But anyway, Terry Branstad has passed these that are passed by the state legislature and the assembly every time since, and it works for them. I think we need a model that has election fairness, that is not to favor one party or the other, because if it switches over to a party that you may not care for, and that is done behind closed doors without any input, who wants to live in an area where it doesn't matter if you go to the polls because somebody wins by 60% versus 40%? You can't, you have to have half your cows come in to vote, have a chance. But anyway, so I appreciate that. That's my personal experience with it down there. I've lived here for a number of years and from Chippewa Falls. And I would just ask that you not only support that, but ask your colleagues to uphold open hearings on this, because it affects every other issue, whether your issue is healthcare, education, water. We all drink water, and I drink water that comes from sources north of here and other directions, downstream and rivers and whatever. And so things that aren't just right in your own district, it affects everything. We all drink the water. So whatever your ideology is, every issue is important. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for coming down to Madison last week or two, and addressing the water and working. I think with the red cedar and everything, there's a lot of issues that we need to kink out. I think a long-term solution is needed, and I think a lot of different people and different sides of the equation are starting to come together. So I appreciate you coming down for the hearing there. With redistricting, yeah, I'm just kind of keeping an open mind. Being new here, I had nothing to do with the past sessions. In the 2000, Democrats couldn't fix this. They kicked the can. Now Republicans are in charge, and I know there's a couple bills out there. I think in the Representative Bernier's committee, she's looking at some stuff. So I'm just kind of sitting back, waiting to see when things are coming out, to see are these good, bad proposals. So thank you for your concern. Okay?
Yes, I talked to you the other day.
Yep.
Thank you for calling.
Oh, thank you.
And I can't remember if I talked to you